All right, everybody. Welcome to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show.
You either want it that bad or you just want to be having the name on your shirt.
We're going to discuss with him everything going on here.
We want to set the standard. We want to give our fans the best thing possible that we can.
But we are the #1 TRT company in the nation.
And then we got out there, first possession, score.
We're going to be here every Monday night, 6 o'clock, Goose's, downtown Papillion.
Let's get this started now.
Go what?
Good evening.
Oh, go here.
You got me up? Okay, here we go. We're ready.
Go now. We're doing this.
Good evening and welcome to Goose's Bar and Grill. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show, week number 10. Week number 10 already, Todd.
For you
If
guys.
You can believe that.
Yeah.
I know it probably doesn't seem like that to you.
It
Because,
seems like less.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. But nonetheless, week number 10, the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. It's every Monday night here at Goose's Bar and Grill. Welcome, everybody, to Papillion. Welcome to everybody tonight at Goose's. We have a good crowd tonight. The players are here. The coaches are here. We'll, of course, talk with Adam Loftus coming up here after this first segment. We'll also maybe bring a player in. We'll talk about, obviously, a big game coming up on Saturday night. We'll take a look at the NAL standings. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to get through tonight, Todd. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure you think it's great to be back
I'm happy to be back, yes.
in the beautiful state of Nebraska.
After
Well,
a game. After a game.
Yeah, I mean, you really didn't leave Nebraska
No, I didn't
this
leave.
time.
I just was.
Yeah, you had
I
other,
had other
stuff,
things going on.
other prior.
And there wasn't
commitments.
a game. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
The
previous week.
Saturday before.
The previous week.
Yeah,
I have no idea what you talked about, but I'm sure you did a great job. I'm sure it's a great show, even though I missed
So you
it.
didn't watch the show. So, I mean, that's pretty apparent.
Yeah, I may have
but,
missed it. I may have missed that one.
Yeah, we had a couple players on, had a good time.
Talk about the bye.
Talked about the bye, recapped the win from 2 weeks previous, but which we already rehashed.
We had already done that.
the Monday. So
yeah.
it was good. It's good.
Sounds good.
Where should we start tonight?
Let's start with a win.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's Victory Monday, so let's start with that.
Yeah, and that
'cause there haven't been a lot of them. So
we haven't been able to celebrate too many wins Monday nights here, but 2 in a row. It's actually a winning streak, the first one of the season.
They're streaking. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, that's hats off to them. You know, we talked about it when they're 0-5.
Yeah.
And 0-4 and 0-3 and all that 0 in time. You know, wins are not easy.
No.
Even if they've looked easy over the years for teams, wins are never easy. So, you know, and I mean, we can put conditions around it that it wasn't the best 2 teams necessarily in the league, and one apparently doesn't even exist anymore. And we could talk about that, but bottom line, I'm looking at the win-loss records. It doesn't talk about any of that, and other teams have played them as well. So, you know, you got 2 wins, and I look at the standings right now, even though they're not accurate on the league side, but because one of these teams don't exist anymore. But
right,
Omaha has that 6th and final playoff spot right now. So,
yeah,
you know, that's the first goal. Second goal is actually maintaining it and qualifying. But the important part, which, you know, until you start winning games, is the fact that you control your own destiny now.
Yeah.
So, and Omaha is able to do that right now. It was a huge win against Louisiana, despite the record, just because they were battling with them for that final playoff spot.
Right.
And, you know, if you listen to our broadcast, whoever won, if either of those teams were able to win both of those games, as the 2 teams played twice here last week and then coming up on May 30th, if either team could pull off both victories, they would have the strong advantage
inside
to that final playoff spot.
Yeah.
And almost virtually guarantee themselves that spot. There's a couple other things that still need to happen. Appear that they will, but bottom line, Omaha beats Louisiana. They're going to be in the playoffs, it looks like. And if they make some wins before that, which they have a couple opportunities to do, it's only going to make it easier and maybe even move up a little bit for whatever that's worth in the playoff seedings. We'll talk about that. I mean, it's not a big deal at this point. They're going to get in. They're going to probably be on the road, and they're going to play 3 games. So,
right,
whether you're 5 or 6, I don't know if it really matters, to be honest with you. But you got to get in the show. And,
you got to make it.
They're close to punching their ticket, which, again, a few weeks ago made it seem improbable. And what we're going to talk about, I think, is that Omaha, it's I-29 week again, which we always love. Game number 57, I believe I just saw.
Yeah, 57.
Coming up between Omaha and Sioux City. 3 weeks ago, we'll be honest, I don't think we had
there were a lot of question marks.
There were a lot of questions going into that game, and I don't think it was necessarily, a game that Omaha felt like they had a great chance of winning. I think they thought they had a chance to win, but I think they didn't feel that too long into the game. But I think it's a different scenario now, a different attitude going into it. And if you've been following along, if you're, an Omaha fan, this is a different team than 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it shows on the field. It started, I guess, quarterback number 7 seems to be part of the answer.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look, at the Louisiana, some key stats from the win, the 52-6 win on Saturday at the Slaughterhouse. I guess we'll start with the quarterback. You mentioned him, Todd. Vincent Espinoza, the 7th player to take snaps at quarterback for the Beef. We talked about it a few days before the game, and you were very high on him, and you had seen him play, obviously a veteran in the NAL. You've been around the indoor game a lot longer than I have, and you felt like he was going to be a good fit for the Beef. And, it didn't take him long to establish himself, as what appears to be the starter, barring an injury for the rest of the season for Omaha. 10 of 18, 177 yards, 5 touchdowns. And of course, getting the game off to a great start with that long run on the read option, the very first play of the game. So he shows he can do it with his feet. He obviously can do it with his arm with the 5 touchdown passes. I guess what stood out to you most in that first performance for Espinoza?
Well, it was encouraging to see that he did what I thought they would do. And not just me. I mean, anybody that's around this business or, follows this industry, whether they coach or scout or personnel or whatever. I mean, they know who he is, right?
Right.
He's been around for several years. He's been in multiple leagues, including the other leagues that Omaha's been in. He's with Salina. We have coaches that work with him. We've seen him perform very well against Omaha. He has championship rings. He's played at every level in the indoor and arena space, and he's done the same thing everywhere he's gone. He's been successful. He moves the ball.
Right.
What did we see? I think we kind of talked about it earlier. He had some open receivers. I'm not going to discount that. Obviously, I think Omaha had better talent than Louisiana in that game. But just because you have a wide open receiver, especially when they're, way downfield, doesn't mean that you hit that open receiver.
Right.
He did not miss those passes, and, we saw during the game, there's definitely one decision that was bad. I mean, that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we didn't see a lot of bad decisions either.
No.
So, you combine good decision-making with very accurate passes. And, that's something that Omaha obviously had been accustomed to over the last few years.
Right.
But it's probably, one of the few times we've seen that here in 2026. And that's why they've gone through 7 quarterbacks. A couple guys had a piece of that. But, if you're honestly rating these guys, I think he's the top of the 7.
Right.
And I don't anticipate a quarterback number 8 unless there's some sort of emergency going forward.
Sure. 18 throws. And like you said, there was one I remember during the broadcast where that probably was a little bit ill-advised. But
and I don't think he'd argue with that.
Other than that, the throws were on time. And again, hitting receivers in stride. Dudley beat the defense 3 times and caught 3 touchdown passes, and he didn't have to break stride catching.
Yeah, let's
those
give
passes.
credit where credit is due, though.
Right.
He had guys getting open. Right. Again, this is not a complicated game. You just have to do everything right?
Yeah.
The guys get open. Why they get open? I don't think there's a lot of pressure on him the entire night. So, credit that front 3.
Absolutely.
And then you mix it up a little bit with that running game. We saw efficient effort on the ground as well.
Yeah.
And end of day, there's still some things to clean up. There's still a couple of turnovers. You never want to see that. You want a perfect game there. Omaha all years had an issue on that on offense. And, if we talk about style points, red zone conversion still wasn't there too. And Omaha knows that they need to figure that out. those are things you're going to need when you play a competitive game, though. And
Right.
The next couple are going to be that.
Right, for sure. And I guess the other thing back to Espinoza is it seems like it's just a well-oiled machine. He gets them in and out of the huddle. They never seem to panic or play with any kind of, I mean, they really didn't have to play with urgency because they were ahead the whole game, but it was a steady calm, I would say, throughout the entire night, getting the guys in and out of the huddle, getting guys where they belonged. There really weren't guys out of position. You didn't have to see him shift guys from one part of the formation to another. It was just kind of that presence that he brought at quarterback. I think that really that was another thing that kind of stood out to me.
Well, you hit on it, and it's contagious, right? So it's not just the offense, it's the defense. We saw it just during warm-ups. You could tell there's a different attitude, a different feeling on the team, the way they prepare for the game, the way they went into it, the confidence. And, it's what makes that position very difficult to scout at any level. And we see it all the way up to the NFL. You wonder why they spend so much time on it, right? And why do guys come into the league and aren't successful, and they were great in college, whatever? I mean, we can measure, and you see they do. Obviously, you've ever watched the combines or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We can measure, the 40s and the shuttles
Hand
and the
size.
targets and everything. But there's a reason those scouts and the area scouts spend all those times with those guys, because you have to see what you said. How does he operate? What's his mindset? What's his composure? How does that radiate? How does he lead? There's not a drill that measures that. You have to see that in play, and it's tough to evaluate and grade. So that's what all the scouts are doing. I mean, it's still, they're not as brilliant as they act like. But there's a lot of paperwork that goes into that, right?
Sure.
And that's what you're doing, and not just that position, but how do you do that? It's one of those intangibles. How do we, Tom Brady obviously is a great leader. Do we know that coming in? No. But he demonstrated that. How do I figure that out? How do I figure out those guys? Armstrong, obviously, here.
Yeah.
We talked about on K DuB's show, when he came to the huddle. I mean, he went through exactly how he prepares and how he led and everything. And I said it right then. I mean, there's a 10-minute clip on there that just anybody that wants to do this business in that position should watch, because he laid it out exactly how to do it as a professional. So, yes, we saw more of that. And you can have all the skills in the world, definitely helps. But to have those other things, that's what really takes the teams to the next level. And goes from winning teams to championships. I'm not saying this team's going to win a championship. I still know where they're at.
Right.
But they got a better shot than they did 3 weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And a reason why they have a good shot is, let's turn to the other side of the ball, the defense. I mean, 65 total yards given up the entire game, 4 turnovers, 3 of those picks by Jalen Perkins. I mean, he had a great game. Munoz got another safety. I think it was, maybe the third quarter, I threw out a stat, and, I'm not going to say it may not have been. I
sometimes think you're making up stats, but really?
The most accurate, but I think I threw out 1 for 14 for Moten, the quarterback for Louisiana. And
at some point he had thrown a completion. It was the third quarter.
Yeah, you looked at me like that. Is that right? Well, I couldn't have been too far off, because the final stats were 2 for 22.
Well, we trust Randy, so I trust his stats.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see Randy catch this week. We'll look forward to seeing him up at Sioux City. And thanks again for providing all those, because you make us look very good. But
exactly.
Again, what you said there, obviously Louisiana struggled on offense. They probably had less personnel and talent, no doubt. But and I don't think that quarterback is as bad as he looked on Saturday night.
No.
So again, why'd that happen? He obviously was not comfortable. I mean,
sure.
Why'd that happen? I mean, front 3 for Omaha. I mean, they were chasing him around all day. We saw him in the end zone. We saw a sack. I mean, we saw sacks. We saw a safety at one point.
Yeah.
Made it a very long night. So, you go 2 and 22 throwing. Yeah, I mean, you threw some balls off, but for the most part, you're not going to be a quarterback even at this level if you can't throw a somewhat accurate pass. So there's more that went into it. And I think Omaha probably contributed that a little bit defensively.
Yeah, and there were times when he did have time, and he kind of moved around the pocket a little bit to kind of get away from the rush. When he established some time for himself, there just wasn't anybody open.
I mean, they still missed too, and that's you're still thinking somebody chasing me. You have the footsteps in the back of your head, and you don't know, because you're just not comfortable, because you've been, running for your life the whole time. And, obviously Omaha made some personnel changes on defense as well. I think they finally got the defensive line that, they may have thought they
We've
had
been hearing about
the season. I heard it was better than what it was, and it had 2 sacks until about 3 weeks ago. But they're writing that wrong. And we're also seeing on the defensive side of the ball a lot of stats that are starting. I mean, obviously they're not going to climb up the charts in a couple of weeks and take season leads in the league, but we are seeing things better, like third down conversions defensively. They're being stopped. Fourth down conversions defensively are being stopped. And you'd expect that with, your top guy being your defensive coordinator as well. And some of that, again, goes to, we talked about how much time the defense has spent on the field.
Oh, yeah.
To the offense not spending time on the field. So all of that contributes, and the offense being more efficient, more effective. And that's the other thing. You talk about composure. They took their time and they ran deliberately, which, doesn't necessarily seem like a big deal. But in a season where your defense has been on the field 34 minutes a game, you could take your time and leave them off the field a little bit.
Sure.
It's definitely going to help their output. It's going to help their attitude.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And it all worked out for Omaha.
So wins over Dallas and Louisiana, huge wins, 2 in a row for the Beef. But you and I talked about it coming over here tonight. A huge step up in the level of competition this week. 2 teams that are very familiar with one another. They played April 4th at the Slaughterhouse. Sioux City held the Beef to 6 points and won 26-6. And I remember talking about that before that game, talking to you about it. Sioux City had lost 8 straight games to Omaha going into that one. We knew the situation the team was in. We knew that Sioux City was ready to hand one of those losses out to the Beef after losing 8 in a row. That first game really wasn't competitive. I think both you and I feel like Saturday's game is going to be a little different.
Well, if I'm marketing this game for Omaha, I'm saying, Omaha's won 8 of the last 9 against Sioux City, right? Games like that happen.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think we were surprised. I don't think a lot of people in this room were surprised that happened. Didn't want it to happen, but that was the mindset going in that game. Unfortunately, you could tell. We got in that game and you could tell. I mean, just body language. They were not necessarily expecting to be terribly successful. Didn't say they wouldn't be, but you just didn't see that attitude going in. I think that's going to be different now. And I'll get the stat before we get to the game, but I'm going to go back to the roster from April.
Yeah.
I want to see. I mean, I'm going to guess that Sioux City, out of 21 players, is going to have 19 of the same players.
Sure.
I'm going to guess Omaha's going to be closer to, not
10?
19, So, I don't want to just go into – I mean, that's how we broadcast. I don't want to just go in and go, hey, Omaha's a different team. I want to go in with some stats and say they're a different team because they are. There's 10 different players out there. Let's tell them why they are. But statistically, Omaha's going to be a different team. We'll see if it's a better result. And, again, I mean, not to discount the 2 teams that Omaha got victories on. They're professional teams. They showed up. They're in the National Arena League. But we're going to find out a lot about Omaha, especially going on the road. We know what happens up in Sioux City.
Oh, yeah.
We see some of our favorite officials up there, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot to battle. I mean, they're not letting the fans in with cowbells. And, I mean, they're just, whatever they can do up there to try to get an advantage, So we see some crazy things over the years in the I-29 rivalry. That's what it's all about. Staff coaches, that's what we love about it, though, too. I mean, that's, what makes it fun, obviously. But you never know what you're going to see, and we got a better idea what I think we're going to see. But, again, you got to snap that ball. And once those 2 teams play each other, get that coin toss, get that ball kicked off, then we'll have a better idea what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. And let's not forget their quarterback and running back, obviously played for the Beef last year. So Zoe Brown's kind of having a renaissance, this season for Sioux City. Again. 16 of 19 last week against Amarillo for, I think, 6 touchdown passes. Brandon Shepard, 5 touchdown receptions last week. We all know that Irv Strobene and the coaching staff obviously know what they're doing. They've been together for a long time. You mentioned it. The continuity on the team, the same guys, the same players.
And they're playing great ball, right? I mean, they're 5-2. They're in the second spot right now. So they're playing for playoff position, including a first-round bye, let alone home field.
Yeah.
They won 3 straight games going into this. 1 in a row against Omaha. Obviously, they're well aware of that as well. That's a monkey they got off their back. I know was something they definitely wanted to do, just the way some of those games went down and when they went down. Some were playoff games, some were championship games, whatnot. So they don't have to worry about any of that noise anymore. They know they can beat Omaha. They come in. They got them at home. They're the number 2 team in the National Arena League. And, they're going to come in as confident as anybody.
Yeah, and we're going to talk with Coach here in a couple of minutes about the game plan. I mean, what if I'm just going to put you on the spot. I mean, with the team Omaha has now, I mean, obviously they're a different team than they were a month and a half ago when they played the first time around. I mean, do you try to slow the game down if you're Omaha? Do you try to speed it up? Do you want to outscore them? I mean, what are you looking for?
You do want to outscore them.
Well, obviously.
I like that part. I'll highly suggest that one.
No, I'm saying that I meant in a high-scoring shootout. I mean, is that game going to fit this Omaha team the way they're constructed now?
And that's a great question for Coach Loftus and
right.
his staff. And part of it, and we even talked about it, I think, in the pregame before last week's game. Maybe he knows better now. You still don't know what your identity is. You don't still know
right.
what you are.
Right.
And I know they're going to go a little bit, obviously, with what's working. I mean, I don't blame them for that, but they may not know what that is yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess they have an idea what they'd like to do, but they aren't going to be married to that idea. They're going to get a feel for that game. They're going to kind of figure out where they're at. And then, I mean, if you got a hot hand and you're moving the ball quick, then maybe you're looking for a shootout. But, if you have to grind that ball a little bit, they're playing pretty good on DBs and you can't get a lot of good passes and whatnot, then, maybe you're trying to ground that out a little bit and stretch that game out a little bit.
I mean,
I think it's kind of a game time decision.
Sure. And the first time around, Sioux City got the lead. And then, of course, they just played that ball control game. I think they had the ball for 39 minutes. The first time around at the Slaughterhouse. And I mean, I'm sure Coach Strobene would be just fine with that same
have
scenario.
no issue with that. I guarantee you that.
No, I mean,
love for that.
Build that 14-point lead.
And I don't blame them. I mean, absolutely.
Right? I mean, I think that would be their
And I
dream
think both
scenario.
teams are in the same boat there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could shorten the game up with a lead, if either team gets the lead, they know. I mean, they've seen shootouts. They've seen crazy stuff in the last 2 minutes of games up there. They want to minimize those opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Because they know both teams how this series goes. So anything you could do, obviously, when the other team doesn't have the ball, they can't do a whole lot as far as coming back on you. So, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I will also say over the last few years, Omaha's got a lot more, or not Omaha, Sioux City's got a lot more dynamic in the air than they used to be too. I mean, they were more ground-based, and they have opened it up over the last 2 or 3 years. So, same concepts and same mentality on how they control the ball, but they're not afraid. And when we got Lorenzo Brown and quarterbacks like that they've had up there, if they can find that passing game, they're more than happy to go that route too.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game Saturday night, 7:10 kickoff at the Tyson event. Yeah, 7:10. Tyson Event Center in Sioux City. Todd and I will be there, of course, calling the game for you. You can find it on Bluffs Country 106.5 FM. You can also catch the stream on Bluffs Country. If you can't make it to the game, you can listen to us. Of course, DJ K DuB will be hosting the watch party at Herdat.
Will you?
Someone will be.
Maybe I should have confirmed that.
DJ's too good for that now.
It's graduation season.
Weddings book a year in advance.
So they're
weddings at the watch party. Seems like a great, combination.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. So watch party
short marriage.
Watch party at Herdat. Todd and I, of course, will be at the game. Bluffs Country 106.5 FM if you're not going to make the hour-and-a-half trip up north. So we're looking for a great game. We are going to take a quick break right now, and then we're going to bring on the coach of the Omaha Beef, Adam Loftus. Coach Loftus will join us right after this short break. Welcome back to Goose's Bar and Grill in downtown Papillion. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show, and the reason why we're here, Coach Loftus, the head coach of the Omaha Beef, joins us as he does every Monday night, 6 to 7 o'clock right here at Goose's. Coach, back-to-back wins. I mean, when we're 0-5, I'm like, are we going to put together a winning streak? Because all of us knew that's what it was going to take if you wanted to be a part of the playoffs. We finally got it. Back-to-back wins. Talk about the game. Talk about getting off to a good start and then playing really 4 solid quarters. I thought, maybe for the first time, because there were moments in the Dallas game where I thought, things didn't go so well. But I thought for the most part, the guys put a solid full game effort forward on last Saturday night.
I think we did a good 3 quarters. First quarter was a little slow. Not that we didn't necessarily play bad, but
right.
I think it was only 6-0.
Fast start, and then just kind of stalled.
Just couldn't get points on the board. So, it's tough because just because the score only said like 6-0 to start, I felt like we were playing better than that. So I think it should have been maybe 14 or 20-0. After the first, we left. We had a turnover on offense. We got a pick on defense to get it back. And then I think we turned it over on downs once. So just kind of a sluggish start. But once we got out of that first quarter, we started rolling pretty good.
Espinoza was able to settle in. I thought that long run off that read option when he kept it, and I think it was 37 yards. I think for a quarterback making his first start, when you can get a play like that, I felt like he just really kind of settled in after that.
Yeah, so normally they say you want your quarterback to get hit like one time, like decent, just to kind of knock the rust off or kind of get those nerves out. So that first run was big. For second there, I thought he was gonna bust it. Number 11 for Louisiana, chased him down pretty good, took a good angle. But yeah, that was a great explosive start to the game.
Yeah. I mean, the ball fake was great. I mean, he kind of faked Todd and I out up there. I mean, I thought that he handed it off, but he kept it. Obviously, 10 of 18 through the air, 5 touchdown passes. I mean, I know Todd, we talked about it. He was high on Espinoza. He had seen him many times. Did you see or get the feeling, that week of practice leading up to the game that something like that was possible from the veteran?
Yeah, he even in practice, he took care of the ball. Which is what we've been preaching for the last couple of weeks. Can't have turnovers, protect the ball, make sure we check down when we need to check down or just throw it away when we need to throw it away. There was only one time I think he put the ball in harm's way, which luckily they missed that catch. But other than that, he made good decisions the whole game.
Yeah.
I agree.
I got nothing else.
That's all you got, huh? All right. So, what did you like that? Obviously, a lot of things improved, the score, whatever. What did you like the improvement that you saw this week compared to 2 weeks ago against Dallas? And I know it's hard to judge a little bit based on the teams you were playing, but what got better on the Omaha side of the ball?
Once we got rolling, we didn't take our foot off the gas, which was good. I think that's what happened against Dallas. But we had like the early start of the fourth quarter. We kind of got into a lull and had to pick it back up. This week, it just took a couple drives to get rolling, and then we just kept cruising the whole way. Guys were playing physical. Defensively, I think the guys were communicating better this week than they had before. Communicating pre-snap what was going to go on and who had what responsibility and kind of if-then situations. So those guys were communicating really well on the defensive side as well.
One thing that did occur, and I'm impressed with, I'll be honest, that it did occur, Louisiana started losing their composure a little bit towards the end of the first half. You didn't take the bait on that. It's so easy to lose your composure when the other team's doing that. But that didn't happen. And I know as a coach, it's tough because you're not on the field as it's occurring. But for the most part, that moment passed and it didn't come back either. That's a game that could get very chippy, very ugly, very fast.
Yeah, we preached that at the start of the game. We knew it'd probably get chippy, especially if a lead started to grow. We had to get over that hump. And then another thing we preach is just protect each other. So if you see a teammate get in trouble, don't necessarily go swinging for the other team, but pull your teammate out of that situation because we want to play the next week. We want to make sure we protect ourselves in that situation. So we you don't have a person get too unsportsmanlike, and then they're not only out this game, then they have to sit out another game.
2 wins, back-to-back wins. You got a little momentum now. You're now 15th, 16th all-time in coaches and all-time wins at 2.
Wow.
Congrats. You passed Mike Bonner and Dan Tureen coming up next.
How about
So
that
you're
stat?
slotted right there, so climbing up the ladder. Congrats. But in all seriousness, obviously you're taking a talented team this week. There's a rivalry. They're second in the National Arena League. Only lost 2 games. Lost to them, obviously, earlier this year. Sioux City, what do you have to do this week, and what do you want to do during your practice this week to get better for Sioux City?
So we're going up to Sioux City. So it's going to be a hostile environment. So we got to make sure we stay composed, not take any bait as far as any of the physicality or chirping or anything like that. We want to make sure we stay in the game.
Some things will happen there. I can already predict and guarantee some things will happen in Sioux City.
Yep.
Just if you didn't know,
No,
I'll just give you a little
I
warning.
know. But once again, we got to make sure we control what we can control, and don't let that snowball effect rolling. Once those 1 or 2 bad things happen, we got to make sure we reel it back and get right back on track. Like I said, guys need to help protect each other, keep each other out of bad situations. But yeah, they're a very good team, well-coached team. We're going to have to be very disciplined this week, defensively and offensively, making sure we don't have any empty positions, take care of the football. Defensively, make sure we limit the big play. I know they had a ton of them against Amarillo last week. So we got to make sure we limit those explosive plays and make them earn any points they get.
And Jason was speculating. I'll let him ask you about the offensive, or not the offensive, but the game management philosophy going into the I-29 rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, can you really? I mean, you guys are a completely different team. I mean, you have new personnel. Can you really take anything away from that April 4th matchup, or have you just moved on from that? I mean, do you look at the film? Do you try and figure? I mean, is there anything you can take away from that game heading into Saturday?
I mean, they did some of the things they usually do. They still have that jet zone and then play action off of it. They ran a lot of the same stuff they do.
Sure.
As far as offense. So defensively, it's going to be a very similar game plan. Like I said, make sure we limit the big play. Sure tackling. Jeff Max, a scat back there, and we got to make sure we wrap him up in the backfield, and then limit Zoe on those big throws.
Yeah.
Offensively, we got to make sure we, like I said, limit turnovers, make sure we score in the red zone. I don't necessarily want to say slow the game down, because if we have a chance to score, I want to score.
Sure.
I don't want to. Anytime we can get points, I want points. So I don't want to tell them, hey, don't score here unless it's into the half or something. And I don't want to give them a chance, to get the ball back or into the game or 2-score lead or something like that. But yeah, if we have a chance to score, I want to score.
Yeah, and Todd and I were talking before, talking about game planning. Obviously, it's just Monday, so I'm sure you're going to be getting the game plan put in here tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. And we were talking about, are you comfortable getting in a high-scoring game with the personnel you have on offense right now? Are you wanting to maybe slow it down a little bit? And I think the answer to that is going to be whoever can get a lead. I mean, that's probably going to dictate maybe how you move forward as far as what you do with the game plan, speeding it up or, pulling it back and using more of the clock.
Yeah, it's hard to speculate. What's
Sure.
going to happen if we get in a shootout. We've had about every game I can think of with Sioux City as far as shootouts, high-scoring games that are just neck and neck, and then we've had low-scoring games that are neck and neck. We've had stuff come down to overtime in a championship game, which was double overtime. We've had stuff come down to the last play of regulation. So
right,
we're gonna roll with it as it happens and adapt and coach up the guys as we need to get coached up and make adjustments as we need to. But it's going to be one of those games. We'll just have to see how it unfolds. But right now, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be a very physical and it's going to be a very close game.
How is personnel now? Finally, I mean, is it safe to say you're pretty satisfied now? I mean, I know you'll always make changes up to the end where there's a chance to improve a position here and there, or you might have an injury or something like that. But for the most part, the mass changes are completed, I'd assume, and specifically a quarterback, obviously. I mean, you've had 7. I don't know.
This might have been the most turnover I've seen.
So it's Bruce Cowdery.
So I don't it's nice to not turn it over as much, because then you start building some of that camaraderie and
No
some
doubt.
of the cohesiveness.
Sure.
Both sides of the ball. When you have that turnover, then guys have to get used to other guys and communication. And, some guys gel right away. Some guys don't. Some guys rub each other the wrong way. And you don't know that until you get them all together.
So what do you see regarding that now? I mean, it looks like the chemistry is better. It appears that way.
This last week of practice heading into Louisiana, I think was the most, I don't want to say relaxed, but it was way more of a relaxed atmosphere. Going into Dallas, guys were very much ready for their get back, and there was more of a sense of urgency. And relaxed isn't the right word. I don't know. Cohesive, just productive. Guys were talking, communicating. There wasn't, there was no bickering or, anything like that. It was just guys working together. And it almost caught me a little off guard, because I was like, shoot, do we need to tighten up a little bit, or are we hitting a stride here that's good, because we haven't quite hit that yet this year. But judging from how the game went on Saturday, I think it was pretty good.
How are you injury-wise after this game? Couldn't tell if we had any issues or not, and for what you care to share.
A little banged up after a game. Some guys are going to get evaluated and see if they're good to go this week, or we're going to see if we need to maybe sit them 1 week. For the most part, pretty healthy. Some guys were a little banged up, but there was no point in putting them back in the game to potentially make it worse, because it's like, if it's just a bruise, let it be a bruise, and we'll just, let some other guys get some reps in that position.
I think, it's safe to say, we know you're a defensive guy. You've been coaching the defensive side of the football for a long time, but 65 total yards given up, 4 turnovers created. You got another safety. You held their quarterback. I think he was 2 for 22. Just talk about the performance of the defense, touch on the defensive line, and then obviously I thought the secondary easily played their best game of the season.
Yeah, so starts up front, and it takes – this is the thing with this defense. They're starting to all, like I said, they were all communicating really well. I've had to coach them less coming off the field, because they're already starting to coach each other up and talk about stuff mid-play as it's happening in a game. But defensive line got pressure, which did force a couple bad balls, which we got interceptions off of.
Yeah.
We covered it up pretty good in the secondary. There was 1 or 2 times they did have an open guy, which we're lucky he missed a couple. They did complete a couple on us as well. But once again, guys were communicating really well. We were able to get pressure. And then, like I said, anything that did happen that we need corrected, guys were correcting it right away, which helps me out, because then I can worry about some other things.
Yeah. Talk about the addition of Freedom and kind of what he brings to that defensive line mix that enables you to move Brandon maybe out. It just feels like you have 4 guys along that defensive line that are kind of interchangeable, and you can kind of move them around, which is a huge option to have as far as, changing things up, getting pressure from different spots, giving offensive linemen different looks. Oh, wait, he was over here. Now he's, it's important to be able to have those guys be able to play multiple positions.
Yep. So Freedom's very physical football player, very 100 miles an hour all the time, which is great.
Right.
And then, we were able to move Munoz around. He played some nose and some end. I feel like they finally were able to pin their ears back and go a little bit, but still play within the scheme that we want them to play with. And like you said, being able to interchange them, we can look for different matchups and who's doing better against a certain lineman, or who's, getting more pressure from the nose position or end position, or depending upon what running back they had in this game. They had certain running backs that like to swing and other ones that like to insert. So we can – I don't want to say we can just adjust to what they're trying to do and kind of move guys around accordingly, which definitely helps out. And that's going to help out Sioux City as much as they like to swing and run those jets and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Adam Loftus, he, of course, is familiar with the I-29 rivalry, longtime defensive coordinator. It will be his first chance to get a win against the Bandits as the head coach Saturday night at Tyson Event Center. Coach, best of luck Saturday. And as always, thanks for joining us on the Coaches Show.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
Coach Adam Loftus, the Omaha Beef. We will be back after a short break with segment 3. We're at Goose's Bar and Grill, downtown Papillion. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show.
Omaha Beef Football. Prime dancers. Rump roasters. Slaughterhouse, are you next one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the slaughterhouse where we run it. Yeah, we really want it. Beef Mason got 'em shaking, got a ring and we flaunt it. Prime Dancers be on it. I bet the competition's no opposition. We come to take and we done it. Ricky is the chief saying, let's go beef. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Orange and black. About to win this. Defense stays on attack. You on our hit list. Spiking, blocking, and dumping, jumping out the gymnasium. You want to see the best? Meet us at the Beef Stadium. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Let's go, Beef. Orange Kingdom. Slaughterhouse. Orange Kingdom. Prime dancers. Let's roll, baby.
Welcome back to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We are live at Goose's Bar and Grill in downtown Papillion. We're here every Monday night, 6 to 7 o'clock. And we are pleased to be joined by the defensive MVP from last week. 3 picks. Got his hands on 3 interceptions. I think he's got 5 for the season. 5, is that right? 5. Yeah, 5. Nice. 5. Jalen Perkins, defensive back for the Omaha Beef, joining us live on the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. Perk, what a game.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, what a game. Defensive MVP. I mean, a lot of times when you play defensive back, you're not exactly sure how the game is going to play out. Sometimes you don't get a lot of balls thrown your way. But on Saturday night, you got a lot of opportunities, and you made the most of them. Just talk about the picks. Talk about the game plan that put you in the right position to make those plays.
What a game plan. I'm going to give that to Coach Loftus. He had a good game plan for us. I feel like he did. And, the first pick, the D-line got a lot of pressure. There's a lollipop straight to me.
Yeah, that one kind of came down from the sky. You were just in the right place at the right time.
Yes, sir. I should have scored.
You know, so many. We always talk about all the stories of players and how they get here and everything. And some of our favorites is when local players end up back here in Omaha Northwest.
Yes,
you know, and I'll be honest, I mean this sincerely. When we can have good stories out of Omaha Northwest, you know, the football program, you know, that's great to see. You know, through Nebraska Kearney, you end up here. Just talk about that whole journey, and now to still get to play and to play at home. I mean, that's kind of cool.
It's been a long journey, I'm not going to lie. Northwest graduated 2017. Then I went to Iowa Western after that. Left Iowa Western in 2020, went out to Kearney until 2022. And then I went to Grandview for my last year. Tried to stay in the NCAA, but they got rid of my last year eligibility.
Right.
So I had to
You
go
can
to
get away with anything there.
school.
Yeah. You know, and that just shows the passion. I mean, everybody always sees, you know, okay, they transfer around, and obviously that's not NIL or money or anything back then. That's the desire. You want to play, you want to get better. Where do I have an opportunity?
Yes, sir. And then past 2 years, I've been out of Arizona. I played for the Rattlers in 2024, and then Tucson Sugar Skulls in 2025.
And now you're back home?
Yes,
on
sir.
the orange turf.
Yes,
You've never seen turf like that.
Slaughterhouse.
My gosh, right?
You're the young pup in the secondary for the Beef this season. You've got some veteran dudes around you. Talk about being able to play next to TDG and CP3, and just talk about what they've helped you with and how much you've been able to learn playing alongside them.
TDG, he give me a lot of game. He quiet assassin. Then I got CP. He the wild card at secondary, but I love CP. And then got Juice as well. He been here for a couple of years.
Sure.
Showing me the ropes thing.
That helps because, I mean, we talked about it last week. A lot of the guys are not from Omaha. You are, but I mean, a lot of the guys that come in are from different places. Talk about the camaraderie that the team is starting to develop as we move into the last 3 games of the regular season.
I feel like we just getting all our cards in a row. Now the season has been a long season, especially trying to find like a quarterback. I feel like we got one now for sure. That's a big part of winning games right there. Just having a quarterback command the offense, and it's arena football. You're supposed to put up points. Put up points, we get stops, we win.
That's right. That's the key to success. That's what Todd always says.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Always, over and over. Well, Coach Martinez, highly recommended. We brought you on here. We appreciate you coming out here. Love to see games like that. I mean, those are fun, right?
It's always fun.
Had you ever had 3 picks in a game?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I have.
Don't remember?
I had 2 in college, but that was the most I had.
Okay. Hopefully you can get your hands on a few more this weekend in Sioux City. Big game. Jalen Perkins joining us, the defensive MVP from last week in the Beef's big win over
Louisiana.
Yeah, I just drew a blank there. I was thinking Dallas, Louisiana. Jalen Perkins, the Beef secondary, clicking on all cylinders, a big one on Saturday at Tyson Event Center. We're going to be back with the final segment of the Omaha Beef Coaches Show after this short break.
It's pretty simple. We change oil.
As a single parent, I come here because I trust them with my car care needs.
It's been very good, very fast. I've never had to wait.
They've never tried to upsell me, but at the same time, they have always given me options.
It's great customer service, very friendly staff, and it's really fast and easy to get in and out.
Stop by King's Fast Oil today. We change oil with a smile. I love these guys.
Ace Rent to Own. 4 ways to save. 1. Cash sales with our best price guarantee. 2. Up to 12 months, no interest. 3. Short-term leasing. And 4. Our best rent to own, low weekly rate.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make friends.
Welcome back to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. It's the final segment, week 10. And it's a big week because the Omaha Beef are getting ready to play their arch rival, the Sioux City Bandits. The I-29 rivalry resumes in full effect Saturday night at the Tyson Event Center. 7:10 kickoff. As I mentioned, if you can't make the trip up north, there's a couple of ways you can follow the contest. Of course, Todd and I will be there. You can follow along on the NAL network. You can also find us on Bluffs Country 106.5. And, of course, the watch party at Herdat. Every Saturday when there's an away game, we'll have a watch party. DJ K DuB, usually they're holding it down, but he's got other work to do. We all have other jobs. I mean, we're all busy with other stuff. So K DuB, we talked at halftime during the Louisiana game, and one of the main concerns, and Todd touched on it with Coach, was the Beef were in control 27-6. It got chippy right before half, and you and I talked about it. We were concerned that the second half there was going to be more of that, potentially putting a Beef player in jeopardy of missing this Saturday's game. But I think to both of our surprise, there really wasn't any of that in the second half. I mean, I thought both teams kind of held it together, and you didn't see a lot of that continue into the second half.
Well, I know on Primetime Beef Huddle, we talked about the ownership, the new ownership this year. And he came out and made a statement to his players and his coach right in front of me. So to see him go directly to the source, not go argue with refs, not go argue with the other owner, not argue with other coaches, other players.
Right.
He went directly to his source, his team, and that just earns more respect. And that's why I think.
What did they say?
He just was telling them that cut stuff out. It's not going to win you nothing. It's not going to get nowhere. And just seeing him trying to tell his own players to just, that stuff ain't what this is
you're
about.
talking, I lost track. You're talking Louisiana.
Yeah.
Keith, hats off if Keith's watching. We, one of the better owners in this league. I hope he has a long time run in this league. But yes, that moment he went down there, he took care of business. I know that player did not ride home.
Oh,
so he took care of business.
He had to find his
You
own
know?
way back to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, but a great owner, high character, and I actually got to spend some time. He came out to our postgame party. He was over at Winchester afterwards, and spent an hour with him over there talking LSU baseball and College World Series too. But and we'll be down there in a few weeks, so looking forward to that. But yes, I mean that's those are owners you want to keep in a league like this, and you know the things on the field you can fix. I mean that's fixable. There's people who know how to do that. We have those discussions. You got to make the business works, and I think they can do it. It's a great market.
Well, and he showed the importance of it. And I think when you can be the example, I mean, it's what plays out here all the time, the professionalism and, you know, the scrappy is the scrappy. It's going to happen. There was one player that was fully disgruntled all the way out until he walked out of there, another guy on their team, but nothing happened on the field that cost either team after that incident a player for the next week.
Right.
All players need to be accounted for. I mean, you only get 21, and you know, the last thing you want to do is go one less, especially on the lineman. Like that's got to hurt.
And the other thing you got to watch, I mean, since we're talking about Louisiana, I know it sounds crazy right now because you just saw the game you played against them. You know, there's a waiver wire. You know, players come and go. Officiating rules and stuff tend to change sometimes, especially with some of the newer markets.
Depending on where you play,
I'm just saying, you know, things can line up. Do not take that game for granted yet down in Louisiana. That's going to be a win. I've seen crazier things. It may not even be the same team by the time you get down there. I mean, that's their last game. Who knows who's to be there?
Sure.
They may sign a bunch of guys, and they're not far from Texas. I mean, there's a lot of football players down there.
Yeah.
So do not discount Louisiana. I don't care what the record says, any of that. Do not discount that game before you go down.
K DuB, Todd has been around this game longer than you and I combined. I mean, he's seen a lot of games with Sioux City. He's called a lot of games with Sioux City. You and I have been here the last couple of years. Talk about the rivalry. Talk about what it's like, you know, to go to a game between the Beef and the Bandits. I mean, it's the longest running rivalry in indoor football history. So, I mean, there's a lot of history between the two teams. The two teams don't necessarily like each other. There's a lot on the line. Todd mentioned it. They can still play for a home field or a bye and then home field in the playoffs. The Beef obviously trying to climb the playoff ladder. I mean, there's a lot at stake Saturday night in Sioux City.
You know, the biggest thing is it can't be taken for granted. We know the last game, you can't book anything off of that.
Right.
But that score for sure did not tell the story of what that defense went through.
Yeah.
And who they are today. And I just say defense wins championships. We all know that. And if there's one thing that we know we got right now is the defense with an offense that is continuously moving the chains differently every game. And I think on this rivalry, there's nothing better than looking for that opportunity to go up into their house and give that revenge that you've been looking for. We you know, we can't talk about the last game. All we can talk about is what's going to happen this Saturday because the Omaha Beef, again, are looking for that one game closer to that getting into the playoffs.
You know, again, 56, 57, whatever it is up there. I'll know for sure by the time we get there. I don't have my notes in front of me. Actually, I do have them in front of me. Whatever it is. So 56, 57. But the key is we see so many moments. And that's why you may have seen me. I was talking to people who've been here a long time. You know?
Sure.
If you know Pepe, Jeff Sprouse, I just quickly, I'm like, what's your favorite I-29 rivalry moment? You know, and not the double overtime win. Obviously, that was, that's right there at the top. But, and Jeff says, was the Armstrong game. We're down 17 with like 5 or 6 minutes left. We come back and somehow pull that game out. Pepe talks about you come back from behind. Winner goes to championship game of the CIF, goes down, plays the Texas Revolution. As improbable as it was with that ownership, I'll take the shot on that. But that was amazing that even happened. But that was a big game down there. And then I got to go back, and I'll have it for this week. I'm trying to think, is when Marvin Jones was here, we had Andrew Jackson at quarterback. I mean, there was something like, it was one of the best games I've seen, and we got to call it. I want to say literally like 34 points scored after the 1 minute warning.
Yeah, you were telling me
this
about
thing went
that.
back and forth. I mean, it was, and Omaha came out victorious in this thing. I mean, that was a crazy. I got to go find that one somewhere. I mean,
yeah,
these two teams matched up. it's magic. I mean, and it's great for this business. It's great for this industry. It's great for this league. Hopefully, if you get a chance to watch it, I guess they charge you to watch it online, and hopefully all 4 quarters works, all that. You get that. Save your time. Just drive up there. It's worth it. If you're going to do a road game, this is the one.
That was my first road game for the Omaha Beef last year. It was a blast. We were right behind the players, so that made it just even better. We had our own.
And that's the thing. You can sit close because the benches are on the sideline.
Yeah.
So get on the sideline with the benches, and if you're on the Omaha side or the Sioux City, whichever side you want to be on, they are there. Yeah. They are close. It's not. It's like Ralston. It's not a deep. It's not a deep 10 rows, 12 rows, whatever is deep there.
Yeah,
they sell less tickets. Will be honest, so you can get close.
Yeah, and my favorite memory is. Really two. Last year we were able to head down there for the game and watched it. And your son Caden and I and you were sitting, right down there. I mean, we were on the sideline.
Yeah, we were broadcasting last year, so
right. So we were able just to kind of be fans and be in the box and just kind of experience everything that was going on. I mean, that's
the only time you've probably done that. So that's a big deal.
I had never
a great game.
Yeah, I had never been in the box during an actual live game and see how the plays come in and out and see guys get put into the boards and all that stuff. I mean, that was
and the best part of that. I think future Hall of Fame inductee Don Igo was down there with us, if I remember correctly.
Well, Tommy was up in the stands. Tommy Armstrong was hanging out at that game.
Yeah,
and I think that's what matters, right? Like when history continues with the teams, the growth of people that want to be around something like this just it electrifies it. It makes it a little bit more. And what I really like, though, is they're letting the pads do the talking.
Yeah.
That's what matters. They're going to let the game do the talking. Oh, yep. And everybody should know. I know Tony put it on everything. No noise makers.
Oh,
how about firearms? That's okay. It's open carry, then, right? I mean, you could do that, I think.
Firearms.
Is it an open carry state?
In Iowa?
Aren't they? Maybe not in an arena, not a public arena.
I mean, probably
you can
not.
The State House, I think, but I don't know. That'd be actually really cool. We should find that out. If you can bring firearms in, but not cowbells, that'd be interesting, right? It wouldn't surprise me if Iowa. I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna get in trouble, aren't I?
You'll be getting a call from the commissioner.
I'll be getting
not at all.
Yeah.
We're getting to the end here, so it goes quick. I appreciate everybody that helps us out with this show. It goes quick every week. Goose's Bar and Grill, great host. Love coming down here. Parking's free. Have I ever mentioned that?
Yeah, love that.
Love that. Great atmosphere down here. Look forward to coming down here. A few more weeks. We still got a few more weeks to go.
Yeah, a few more weeks of the Coaches Show. We'll be here 6 to 7.
So, again, come out Saturday night. It's not that far. I mean, gas, I know, a little pricey right now, but carpool. Bring a few people up there, right? It is worth it. It's going to be a big game for both teams. I mean, playoff implications all over the place. But bottom line, it's, I believe, Chapter 57 of the Rivalry, 56 or 57. I got to go look it up, find out for sure. And you're going to get a game.
Yeah.
Well, I predict it. I mean, that's my prediction. Won't say you will because you never know, right? I can't guarantee it. I'm not going to do a Joe Namath. I think we predicted for the last one that we didn't think we were going to see one.
Yeah.
That was not going to be one of the top 10. We thought that, but I like our chances of seeing a competitive game.
I'm just looking forward to having a place to broadcast.
You're looking forward to having a place to broadcast and just, a ride with me. I know you love when we do that.
I do enjoy that. We'll have producer
Greg.
Well,
you should.
We'll have producer Greg Hendricks with us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's never a dull moment.
That puts it over the top.
Never a dull moment.
That's a definite understatement. Never a dull moment. Best way to say that.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show live every Monday night at Goose's Bar and Grill in Papillion. We want to thank Coach Loftus, Jalen Perkins for joining us tonight. Of course, Todd Walkenhorst, DJ K DuB gets us on the internet. Thank God, because Todd and I couldn't figure that out.
I'm still on AOL.
Thanks to everyone involved with the show. And as we like to say at the end of every show, go Beef.
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.